on, my camera's out. We'll have to fix it. Let's see, we'll refresh this. We'll get to work. There we go. Hey everybody, First Warn Storm Team Chief Meteorologist Brad Panovich. Let's talk about this severe weather threat for tomorrow and kind of clear up some of the things that are going on. I know a lot of folks, my Facebook page blowing up on Twitter because I suggest that people actually move trick-or-treating. Not the holiday, mind you. I don't want to move the holiday. I don't know where people got to just move the activity of trick-or-treating for some. And if you are going to trick-or-treat tomorrow, I will tell you this. If you're going to do it, make sure you have a severe weather plan. Where are you going to go? What are you going to do if there's severe weather heading your way when you're out with the kids trick-or-treating outside? So if you're going to trick-or-treat tomorrow, please have a plan and stay weather aware. These aren't just going to be showers heading our way. So let's get right to the radar tonight, because what we got going on tonight is actually okay. If this was tomorrow, we'd be fine. This would just be inconvenient. Yeah, we'd be dodging raindrops. But you can see there's some pretty heavy downpours moving through and some gusty winds. But what's going on to our south actually right now is really warm, humid air is beginning to surge up from the south. And I'm going to show you the dew points real quickly just to show you this warm, moist air streaming in. Look at this, 70-degree dew points in late October. This warm, humid air mass is moving to the north. And that's going to set the stage for potentially these strong to severe storms that are going to develop during the late afternoon. Now, here's the thing about tomorrow. If these storms happened in the middle of the day, be no big deal. If they happened in the morning, if they happened in mid-afternoon, or if they happened overnight, they wouldn't be as big an issue. The problem is the timing right now of these storms is right when people will be trick-or-treating. So that's a concern. Let me widen this out a little bit. I'm going to show you a couple views here. Here's our overall system. So overnight tonight, we've got a couple things of rain. We've got one bunch here. We've got one over here. But the main cold front is right in here, and it's going to be pushing to the east with potentially those strong and severe storms. And just to show you how potent this front is, look at the temperature difference from one side of the front to the other. You're talking spring here, and this is winter, folks. This is a legit cold front. So severe weather aside, this is the first huge cold front of the season. We're talking a 30, 40-degree drop in temperatures. We could see a flash freeze in the mountains as we go from near 80 in the afternoon to below freezing in parts of the area on Friday morning. So let me show you the timing here real quickly. I'm just going to show you a forecast for the trick-or-treating. And again, this is for the greater Charlotte, Piedmont area, includes everything outside of the mountains. So this is primarily focused on the Piedmont. You can see the timing here, between 5 and 9 p.m. The rain chances ramp up to about 90%. So let me show you the severe weather outlook for tomorrow real quickly. If you haven't seen this, for everybody who says it's no big deal, it's rain, this is why it's a big deal tomorrow. We're in the medium to high threat for severe storms during the day tomorrow. And the problem is the threat is damaging winds. Now, if you've lived here any length of time, you know it takes very little to bring trees and tree branches down. Even sub-severe storms, gusty winds bring down branches. So this is something to be careful of with your kids. You're in neighborhoods, you're in parts of the neighborhood, other people's houses. You don't know how well their trees have been maintained, any of that stuff. You just be really, really cautious if the winds start picking up. Make sure you keep an eye on the kids, because damaging winds are primary concern tomorrow, and there is a small tornado threat. So let me show you the FUTURECAST, because this is what everybody wants to see. So we're going to go hour by hour here through the overnight hours. You can see the rain on again, off again throughout the night. I'm going to stop this about 10 a.m. So 10 a.m. on Thursday morning, Halloween morning. Big time rain probably in the mountains in eastern Tennessee. There will be a lull here. I don't want you to think this is going to be a washout. It's actually going to be less rain during the day tomorrow than what we had today. Now, this isn't necessarily a good thing, because if the sun comes out or we get any thinning of the clouds, this will cause the atmosphere to heat up and cause more fuel for the storms, because watch this line of storms start to develop and move out of the mountains by about 3 to 4 o'clock. I'm going to stop this at 4 o'clock. So 4 o'clock, you're like, hey, we can go out trick-or-treating. Yeah, if you get out at 4, you might be okay, but look at this to the west. And also, you see this right here? Something to keep an eye on tomorrow. We could see fast-moving little cells develop out here and move northeast very rapidly ahead of the main line, which will be back here. So just a word of caution. This is a guidance. This is model guidance. the fact that you're trying to plan what's going to happen exactly at 4 o'clock is always kind of difficult, because you got to give this a buffer of an hour or two. This front could be here, could be here, could be here. There could be other storms here. So this is just one instance of the timing of this. So just be very careful. As this storm starts to move east, you could see by 6 o'clock, it's basically right over the heart of our area. So look at the time there, 6 o'clock. That's basically the heart of trick-or-treating. So there's our squall line, and again, embedded in here is going to be very strong winds pushing to the east with maybe some embedded tornadoes. Let's hope it's just straight line winds, because if anything develops ahead of this, there's going to be tornadoes. The winds themselves are a big enough problem, but there could be some embedded tornadoes. 6 o'clock to 7 o'clock, it's slowly pushing to the east of I-77. By 8 o'clock, it starts to push even further east. So if you wait it out, you might be able to get out in these western sections here. But with little kids, you're starting getting pretty late in the evening, 8, 9 o'clock, trick-or-treating, at least in our neighborhood, tends to kind of shut down about this time, especially as we get closer to 9 o'clock. This starts to push off to the east, and the cold air starts filtering in. So just again, I'm going to break down the timing here. This is why the concern, the timing is 4, 5, 6 o'clock. Now I'm going to do something that is pretty cool in our system. I can actually manipulate the model guidance. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull open another window here. And you can't see it, but I can. What I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight, hopefully this works. I'm going to adjust the timing of this. So I'm going to manipulate, or what we call grid adjust. I'm going to take the model and adjust it by, hold on here. I'm going to adjust the time. So what I'm going to do is, first of all, I'm going to speed this up by about 25 minutes. So that's where it would be if the system speeds up by about 30 minutes. If it slows down by 30 minutes, I'm going to slow it down. That's where it is at 6 o'clock. So what I'm doing here is I'm manipulating the timing of this by 30 minutes. So just 30-minute difference. That's the difference in the position at 6 o'clock. Let's do it up to an hour. So let's say it speeds up by an hour. The system is there at 6 o'clock. Okay, I'm going to leave it at 60 minutes faster than it is right now. That's where it is at 5 o'clock. That's where it is 4 o'clock. That's why I'm saying it's really dangerous to play with these specific times, because just an hour change in speed is going to change the location of that dangerous line greatly. So let's slow it back down by an hour. I'm going to slow it down by an hour. That's roughly where it is. So let's slow it down by 2 hours. It would be back here at 6 o'clock. Let's speed it up by 2 hours. There it is. So you can see why that time frame, it's going to be somewhere in here at 6 o'clock, and I'm going to put it back to 0, which is actually what the model thinks is going to happen. So just to give you an idea of, what the small subtle change in the timing of that front means, it's somewhere in this area in between 5 and 9 o'clock. So when you see my timelines here, which I love showing these because it really kind of lays it out for you, you can see the main threat is right there in the prime time of the evening. So could this slide this way a little bit? Could it slide this way? Sure. But right now, this is where it looks. And tomorrow we won't know the timing down to the minute or hour until the storm gets even closer to us. One of the things I've been watching carefully tonight, and I told you about this earlier, was the significant tornado parameter. This is a parameter we look at for the possibility of rotating storms. So we'll go through tomorrow morning, and you can see these parameters start to spike a little bit around early afternoon in the mountains. That's some of the highest numbers I've seen in the Boone area. So tailgaters for the App State game, be very cautious. There's going to be a lot of wind. Don't put those tents up unless you anchor them really well. I would take them down until the squall line moves through, and even behind it, the winds will be howling. Let's go to 4 or 5 o'clock. You could see not huge numbers, but up in here, the numbers are pretty high from Hickory to Statesville, and then these are just shy of 1. So just to put this in perspective, this is basically the probability of a rotating storm from a 0 to 10. So we start seeing around a 1. That's a 1% probability of a rotating storm or a tornado parameter. We look for the potential for tornadoes. As we go further into time, that's 6 o'clock. This is as the squall line's moving through. And then look how it spikes a little bit more towards the sandhills by 7 o'clock, and then spikes by 8, 9 o'clock and pushes off to the east. So I just want to show you that so you can kind of see kind of the overall setup of this. And if I show you the rain chances tonight into tomorrow, you see the rain chances really spiking right there in the evening. So that's why overall the threat for seeing those strong and severe storms tomorrow really highlights around those evening times. So again, hopefully you have a plan tomorrow. If check with your local neighborhood and everybody else to see what they're doing. Hopefully you moved indoors or you have a backup indoor plan. And if you are going to head out tomorrow, please, 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 please have a way to get severe thunderstorm warnings, tornado warnings, or any kind of severe weather threat. Because with that line being basically right there, I'm going to stop it right there, over us at 6 o'clock, this is my concern. Don't take any chances. Hopefully you've got a place to go, some shelter. If you're far from your car, far from your house, hopefully you have somewhere to go if there should be severe weather in your part of the Carolinas. So be safe, be weather aware, have a good time tomorrow. Everything about Halloween should be fun and being safe. No need to get anybody into it worried or troubled or hurt or anything like that. Let's be as safe as we can tomorrow and just use common sense. It's a great time of year. I love Halloween. It's my favorite time of the year. I'll be here tracking the storms, unfortunately, instead with my kids trick-or-treating. But if they are trick-or-treating tomorrow, I probably would advise them not to go out. So I'll be talking to my wife, depending on the line of this storm, and see what they're doing. Our neighborhood has not changed their plans yet. So we'll see. We might just be in our cul-de-sac and not going away from our house tomorrow because of these storms. So I'll have updates tonight at 11. Obviously, I'll post updates all day tomorrow. We'll be tracking this throughout the day. Grab our weather app. Follow me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. I'll post updates throughout tomorrow. If things speed up, slow down, look worse, look better, I'll tell you those trends straight up as we get into tomorrow. Have a great night, everybody.